A good night of Shabbos. A good night of Shabbos. Pashas Baha'alotcha. We're knocking on the door once again. Miksha Zav. Os klappen the gold. It's almost like the Shabbos is. It's like we're always in Shabbos. You know, it's that inner alignment, that inner peace. We're always in Shabbos, and everything around us. It's like we're just getting carried away in a thought, and it pulls us into Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. It's our thought, but really we're in the center. We're in Shabbos. We're always in Shabbos. Shabbos is the Shabbos Malka. Malka is the Malchus. It's the Keser, is the crown, and the queen, the king and the queen. Um, like we said last week, it never leaves. The desire cuts through everything. Actually, I don't know if I finished that thought last week. Why Keser runs its own program, because Keser is Ratzon, the bottom part of Keser is Ratzon. And when I have a desire, it doesn't really matter what's in the way of it. I'm going for my desire. It's raw desire. So don't get too confused with the terms. It's all simple. We're simplifying it. It's desire and what stands in the way of what you want, really. So everything else that's happening that's bouncing off is bouncing off of Shabbos. Everything else is coming out of Shabbos, because the center line, we are really Shabbos. That's our ois bris oilam. We have a connection, we have a kesher. We shook hands and we're holding on to that. That's our parachute. And then everything that comes out of that is just bouncing off. And based on how I'm dialed in, or how I'm tuned in, based on that, that's what the illusion of what I'm going through is happening around me. And it's a smoke. It's a smoking screen. It's just a smoke. Speaking of smoke, so we have Baha'alotcha. This week is Baha'alotcha. We're gonna get a little Kabbalistic also here maybe this week. We're gonna go into the Alter Rebbe's Tanya, where he's talking about, and today Alter Rebbe the Tanya. We're talking about that. He's saying that time and space is Mizrach Marav Tzof and Dara Ma'ala Mata. Okay, that is Makim. Zman is past and future, and the present moment, and all these are just the name Elokim, which creates the past and the future. But really, what's happening is Yud Kei Vav Kei. Now, when we are Yud Kei Vav Kei is the present moment. That's the moment that we're talking about. Everything is Shabbos. We're being present in the moment. And the past and the future is Shem Elokim. And when you tie in these two together, the Yud Kei Vav Kei together with Shem Adna, that's when what happens is that we're living in the present moment, but what it appears in Teva, which is time and space, which is past and future, and the six four corners and top and bottom, which once again to bring to the front and reiterate that we need to start aligning where we're at, right? Where is your center point? Your center is not in your investment down in your worry for a year or a day or whatever is going on in the past and the future. Your center point is Yud Kei Vav Kei, which is the center, where it's being present in the moment, which is Shabbos, and whatever Shabbos is for you. And then, of course, Shabbos, which is the day of Shabbos. So this week is Parshas Baha'alotcha, Baha'alotcha Saneres. It's a fire. We're talking about lighting the candles. We're talking here about where the Navi is being told. Navi says there, "Isi v'hine menorah zav," and he asks, "Ma'ela doini, what is this?" He saw a gold menorah. He had a nevuah. He said, "What is this?" Yomer alai zeh dvar Hashem el Zerubbabel, that the Inyan HaMenorah is who beginnes dvar Hashem shehu makar neshamas Yisrael. Ikamamra va'atan afachta bi. Everybody's breathing now. So ikmosh katzav hipel va'apav nishmas chaim. I know I said words, but let's say what this means. What that means is that the Dvar Havaya, Dvar Hashem, is the menorah, and the menorah is the Dvar Hashem, and that is Makar Neshamas Yisrael, which means that each and every one of us And when it's not each, it's us as a collective. Collectively, we are the Dvar. We are the Dvar Hashem. And this is the breath of Eibishter, of the Creator. Vipach ba'apav nishmas. Into Adam Kadmon, he blew in the Vipach ba'apav nishmas Chaim, and this is the breath. This is who we are. This is our existence. And this is Parshas Baha'alotch. We all know how the menorah was made. The menorah was made out of one piece of gold, and but ausgeklappt from that, and it was a process of elimination, right? They took one big piece of gold and they ausgeklappt exactly, and it had flowers, it had parachim, and then it had the bottom, the foot of the menorah. So as the way Chassidus is explaining this, is that since we are all, the ever neshama is Advar Havai, so you have the tzaddikim, which is, they call the parachim, they're called the flowers, because it's parcha le'elan. Perach is a bird, it flies up. It's a flower, it goes up. Parcha le'elan, which means that they are the ones that are transferring up. They're taking the tefillahs, they're taking the oisiyas, the letters, whatever is happening, they're taking that up. And then we have those who are at the bottom, they're holding it down. But says the Alter Rebbe that the way you need to look at it is, if we were to have, it all comes down to unity. It all comes down to unity. You always have to look at, if somebody is having what happens is that when somebody does something good, and the other person is experiencing that, here, let's go like this. כשיש למעלה מנורה מקשה שאלן ירד למטה ותחתונה אוילה למעלה. שהרע יורד למטה ונכנס באדם רע. ולהפך עסיס איזה מצווה מאדם רע לפעמים אוילה למעלה ונויט לאחר. Which means that sometimes when you see somebody out there, that's something that you don't like about him, and let's say you judge it that he's lower than me, because I would never do something like this, you have to understand that could be coming from something that I did, and it went down to that person. Because what happens is that we are a menorah, and if you start hitting a menorah, the pieces are falling down. If you take a piece of gold and you start hitting it, the pieces are falling down to the bottom, which means that as I am going through my process, if somebody's going through his process and you start purging stuff, it goes down to whatever is lower, somebody that's not there yet. So if you see something that you don't like, you have to immediately say that this is mine, my doing. And the same way goes the other way around. If somebody, an Adam Ra does a good deed, and he can't hold that goodness, so it goes up. Which means that if I'm having a good moment, that can be from the person that's beneath, from him. It came up from him. And these are not just words. This is actually, we're talking about energy work. This is how this works, and it's clearly. Let's just clarify this. How many times have we spoken about anxiety? I wake up, a person wakes up in the morning and he feels anxiety. What's anxiety? Anxiety is where I want to express myself. I did something. I did a good deed, and I went up to the cash register and they totaled me up that right now I'm supposed to have more energy today because I said a good word, told a good word to somebody, or a davened, or I learned. So on and so forth. But now, because I'm closed off, because I've been damaged and I've been told that I'm not good enough, or I think that I can't handle that level of energy, that level of light, so I have an anxiety, so I can't process it. So where does this go? Where does this energy go now? It doesn't go to waste. It goes to somebody else. Somebody else is taking it. So the good feeling that one is experiencing is due to the friend that can't never take it. And instead of us, the way this is going to work is that if we get into unity, and if I start accepting and have compassion for the other person that's beneath me, so instead of taking his grudging and taking his whatever, hurting somebody else, have compassion and know that the goodness that I'm experiencing is due to the other person that wasn't able to handle it and he needs healing. And this is how we start going from compassion to each other. Balois chasaneris, sha'ani yaloisim, kerish pe'esh. Shekol echad yachzik aksim lebechinas yerech lechaveru bechinas perech lechaveru lehepech. In other words, we should each look. Could be I didn't say the pasuk in the words the correct way, but it's all good. It's words. If I can always look at myself as the foot, I'm at the bottom, and look at my friend as the perech, he's the flower, to constantly be down lekav schuz, over and over again until we're going to evaporate. We're going to evaporate this the judgment, the basanish, the thing that bites. And that is Baloischa Sanelis. Baloischa is we're lighting the candles this week. Aaron HaKohen was the one that was bringing down Mamshech the Shefa, the 7 candles, which is the 7 midas. This is powerful stuff. And what was happening this week, with the fire, the smoke, I don't know, there's probably a lot of Toyoters around that. But let's just keep it simple. You couldn't see. We were kind of like, there was a fog out there. There was a cloud. And then it cleared up. It took everything away. So too, there's other layers that we need to become also aware of. That's just something that we saw because the engine was turned on a little higher. The torque was a little higher. But there's more levels of fogginess that we need to become aware of. More clarity. And this cloud can show up in a way of resistance, resentment, judgment. It's not you. It's the body that we're in. Don't judge yourself either. So that is the menorah. And then there's another very powerful concept over here. He's talking here about the Mitzrayim that we're in. We'll start another one. First of all, the Shabbos in this one.